No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
In a bombshell moment, the House Select Committee on January 6th announced it was referring former President Donald Trump to the Justice Department on multiple criminal charges for his role in the Capitol riot. The vote was unanimous.
Yeah, Deborah Alfarone heads up our team coverage on Capitol Hill.
He summoned a mob to Washington and told them to fight like hell.
In an unprecedented step, the House Select Committee investigating January 6th voted to recommend the Justice Department file criminal charges against former President Donald Trump for his role in the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
The whole purpose and obvious effect of Trump's scheme were to obstruct, influence, and impede this official proceeding, the central moment for the lawful transfer of power.
The charges: obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the U.S. government, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting or assisting an insurrection, were unveiled as the panel held its final public meeting.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
The DOJ, which is conducting its own investigation, makes the ultimate call. The committee played its interview with longtime Trump aide Hope Hicks. She said she told him he should tell supporters to be peaceful.
That it was my view that it was important that the president put out some kind of message in advance of the event.
During the 18-month investigation, the committee interviewed more than 1,000 witnesses and poured over more than 1 million documents. Members unanimously voted to approve the final report and release it on Wednesday.
The committee also laid out evidence of a pressure campaign mounted by the former president threatening state officials.
President Trump repeatedly attacked state and local officials who refused to do his bidding, as well as local elections workers who he baselessly accused of fraud.
Many Republicans slammed the committee as partisan and have promised their own counter report. The committee is recommending criminal referrals for Trump's lawyer John Eastman and others, as well as ethics investigations into 4 members of Congress. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
There certainly is a lot to examine from today's hearing. Jordan Fisher is live on Capitol Hill.
That's right. He's been following all things January 6th related for us. So, Jordan, let's start with this. The committee made these criminal referrals for former President Donald Trump. Does that change anything in the way business is being conducted at the Justice Department?
Yeah, Adam, I think at the DOJ they would tell you that it doesn't. They already have their own investigation headed up by special counsel Jack Smith into not only this sprawling January 6th event, but also the issue of classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. Now, the committee will probably tell you that they hope it does, that they hope it pressures the Justice Department to go after Trump more vehemently, which is something they've always pushed for and something that has been a point of contention between the two. And we heard that today from the committee saying we can't have a justice system where the foot soldiers face consequences and the masterminds and the ringleaders get a pass. So I think that's what we're going to see from the committee, hoping to get out of this report and these referrals.
Jordan, of course, the other thing is President Trump announced he was going to run for president weeks ago. And so really the question is, what kind of impact do these referrals for criminal charges have on his chances in 2024?
Well, if you look at the polls right now, the former president is already at his lowest point since 2015, but historically, investigations and what you might even call scandals haven't impacted him too much. The big thing to look at here out of today is this referral for insurrection. That's a pretty unique charge because the 14th Amendment of the Constitution says that if you've been convicted of insurrection, which he has not been, of course, you cannot hold federal office or state office. So that's clearly a statement from the committee saying that they don't believe that he should be able to hold any position of public authority anywhere in this country ever again.
It'll be interesting how this timeline plays out. If they make this referral and then they take him to trial or anything, when would that play out, before or after the election? So, Jordan, how about this? The committee also referred 4 House Republicans to the Ethics Committee. We know that the House is just about to flip from Democratic to Republican hands. So does that have any teeth? Does it have any meaning at all?
Yeah, that's a great question. The committee didn't lay out who those 4 members of Congress were today. during the hearing, but it is in the introductory portion of their report that they released. That's Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Representatives Jim Jordan, Andy Biggs, and Scott Perry. Now, the thing about the House Congressional Ethics Committee is that, unlike other committees where there's a majority and a minority, it's equally split between Democrats and Republicans. Incoming majority or anticipated majority leader Kevin McCarthy may get to pick who the chairman is, but functionally, unless a member of the Republican Party crosses party lines to vote for an investigation into these 4 people, it may be largely a symbolic referral to the committee. The other aspect of it is the Office of Congressional Ethics has no subpoena power. The committee itself can if an investigation is authorized, which is a big if, as I just said.
Those recommendations in those last 4 cases could be just that, recommendations going forward. All right, Justin, Jordan, I'm calling you Justin. Jordan Fisher, who has been the face of so much of our reporting for the past weeks and months. We appreciate it all. Jordan, thank you so much. And if you want to continue to follow Jordan's reporting on the Capitol riot investigation, subscribe to our Capitol Breach newsletter. You can point your phone's camera at the QR code to sign up, and then we'll email you updates every week and when news breaks.